Good day, ladies and gentlemen. It's Eric Coffin. I'm here at the May 2023 Metal Investor Forum on Sunday, May 27th. I'm here with Leo Hathaway. Leo and I go back a long way. We're friends. He started up a company last year called Golden Shield. And when he first started it up, when they were sort of doing, I guess, the IPO financing, for lack of a better word, I went through it with him. And my immediate idea was, yeah, sure, I'll write a check. I mean, I know Leo. I like Leo. I know how talented he is. But I just couldn't quite get my head around what the expansion potential was at Maruti Mountain, which is the project in Guyana that he's working on. He generated some great drill results, but really for me, it was the work they did during and after the last couple of drill programs that's really kind of tied things together and connected the dots for me, not just to show, yes, they did definitely expand the existing zone, that they hit a bunch of very good intercepts outside the pit constrained resource from the past. But to me, it was the targeting that they've done that show, in my mind, a cohesive model that has a lot of scale potential. Like, there's a lot of room to make this thing bigger and to find new zones. And I kind of wanted to maybe walk us through that, Leo. I mean, what did you guys do, and how did it change the perception of the project?
Yeah, so what you said is quite perceptive. I don't think anybody really understood it properly. And we did a lot of geological work, and we had a well-known geologist, Warren Pratt, come down and relog all the core, and he explained it as a banded ironstone formation model with orogenic gold, which means you have feeders coming into a sponge, which is essentially the banded ironstone formation, and that's what sucks up the mineralization. So in that area, you've got quite thick saprolite cover, so there's not much outcrop, right? And I think that's what inhibited previous explorers, because there's been a lot of work done on the property. There's probably $40 million spent on the property. Yeah. But we were the first people to do a IP survey, and what we found was the banded ironstone formation really lights up with the IP survey. Okay. And the area with the resource lit up, and then a number of other areas lit up that were under saprolite. And in the last few months, what we've done is we've gone and trenched a number of those, and we found the banded ironstone formation that looks just like. And
this is like, I guess it's in saprolite still, like, but you can pick it up, like. Yeah, you know what you're looking for. So even in the saprolite, you can see the remnants.
You can see it, but you have to have a good eye, Right. And in that regolith environment, you do get movement, like surface displacement as well. Yeah. But the IP really changed things. So we've gone and ground truthed that. We've gone and trenched through these IP anomalies. We found gold mineralization. We've got 1,600 samples going through the lab right now. Okay. And there were a whole bunch of news coming. So what we've done is we bought a RC rig. So the plan going forward is these areas we've trenched and identified, we'll drill tightly spaced lines over them to make sure we do have the gold mineralized. So
it's effectively like auger. It's like the auger sampling you'd see in West Africa, kind of.
Except it's a track mounted RC rig, so it can go pretty fast. Right. And we'll operate that 24/7. And then we'll come along with the diamond drill in August or September, and test those targets. But we'll have the RC ahead of us, so we shouldn't really be missing with the diamond drill or anything.
Okay, so based on how much IP have you done? Just roughly.
I think it's about 24 line kilometers. Okay. To be honest with you, so what happened was we did the IP, we got the data, we didn't really understand it. We gave it to a well-known geophysicist, Peter Diorio, who reinterpreted it, and that was when it all kind of came together. And so now we might go back and do more IP because it's so effective.
Okay, so just you've got the original resource area. So away from that area, what do you think you're looking at in terms of like target scale with this new information?
Oh, I mean, we're there because we think there's 5 million ounces plus, like that. Right. But otherwise, that's what we're looking for. So in these banded ironstone formation systems, Homestake is the most well-known one, which is 40 million ounces. Yeah. Gator in Tanzania, Back River with Sabina, it's those kind of systems. So and
the BIF, as we call it in the business, That's the quartzite? Like it's just a quartzite, but it's got higher iron content, or is it sitting on the quartzite, or like?
Well, this is like 1.9 billion years ago on the bottom of the seafloor. There was this kind of iron-rich ooze with silica. So what we actually see is it grades from being more silica-rich to more iron-rich, but there's between 10 and 40% iron in it.
Okay.
But it doesn't really matter that much, because when you get the sulfur-bearing fluids coming through it, all that magnetite turns to pyrite and pyrrhotite, and that's what sucks up the gold.
And the based on what you see right now, I mean, obviously you got 600 samples coming in. It's worth noting that I think all your assays go to a gold assay lab in Georgetown, so you're not in assay lab hell like everybody else.
No, we've got a 5-day turnaround, but we don't have to tell anybody that.
yeah. Don't name the lab. Don't give the address. So, right now, what would you say your top 2 or 3 areas are in terms of targets, sort of outside the immediate resource area?
So I think so. We have the resource at Mazoa Hill, and it was always thought to be faulted off to the north.
Right.
And we did the IP survey, and Mazoa Hill glows, and then just to the east, 200 meters to the east, there's another glowing area which we went and trenched, and it turns out it looks just the same as Mazoa Hill. So that's probably the top drill target. There's another one called Success Creek that was an IP anomaly that we then went and trenched, banded ironstone formation, mineralized. We're just getting samples back from that now. And there's an area way over to the east. These things tend to be thicker in anticline hinges. And there's another anticline hinge.
Well, I wondered about that, because when you just said they thought it was cut off to the north. So was it not previously recognized they were dealing with folds?
Yeah, it was previously recognized they were dealing with folds, but they thought it was faulted off.
Okay.
And I mean, they didn't know where it went, I guess.